Hello and welcome. Today we're going to paint a little star. I'm starting out by lightly erasing my pencil lines. And then I'm going to go over the part where the sky is going to be with just some clean water on this is a large flat brush. I'm going to do the wet on wet technique. And I was removing a little fuzzy or some sort of hair there, and since the paper was already wet, you'll see that it did kind of affect the painting once I get some paint on here. So if you get a fuzzy like that, and that, and that, and that, don't try to remove it when the paper is wet, because it will affect it. I'm going to start out with some indigo. I could have used a little bit more pigment here, a little more concentrated, but I was just kind of testing out what I wanted to do here. Since I only put water on the sky portion of the painting, it makes it a lot easier to go in with the paint. You don't have to worry as much about it going into the parts that you don't want paint. But yeah, if you do end up getting a fuzzy while you're working, leave it on there until your paper is dry and then remove it. And that way you won't damage the paper itself. Which you'll be able to, especially once I start layering the paint on here, you'll be able to see where I did have the fuzzies. You can kind of already see it. He has like a little armpit hair going on, the star, and then above him there's another mark you can see. Yep, right there. I dried that up, and now I'm going in with some ultramarine finest. I could have put this in while the indigo was still wet, but I did not. I just sort of kind of ran with what I was doing here, and we get to watch the process. This isn't necessarily the wrong way to do it, it's just a different way to do it. You could be more prone to seeing like brush strokes when you're doing such a large area here. And I probably should be using a bigger round brush, but I don't have one. Or even a mop brush. Again, don't have one. At least not with me. I'm kind of in limbo at the moment and using what I have available. Alright, after that dries, I'm adding a little bit of Carbazole Violet to the ultramarine finest. And you can see that makes it a little bit darker, a little deeper, a little more like a nighttime sky instead of a daytime sky. But yeah, there's no wrong way to do things. You use what you have available and you just make it work for you. I'm going to do another wash of indigo over top of that. Really, I was trying to make sure I didn't go too dark. I probably could have went even darker than what I did end up going. Here I'm going back into that mixture of ultramarine and carbazole violet. So the sky has a little more dimension to it. Yeah, you can really see where I took the fuzzy off there. Alright, after that dries, I'm using some lemon yellow for the star. You'll see here that I'm putting the paint down and then I will go back in and lift some of it up along the edges, the points of the star to kind of, again, make it a little more dimensional. Not just one solid color. So yeah, here I'm going in and lifting around the edges. So you just take a damp brush, go over the part that you want to lift, and then you wipe it off. After that dries, I'm doing another wash. Again, just lifting. For the eyes and the inside of the mouth, I'm using a mixture of Carbazole Violet and Payne's Gray. I will note that the star is dry now, so that way the purple mixture does not go into the yellow. For the clouds, I'm using a really watered down wash of Carbazole Violet. I'm just gonna go on like the underside of the clouds. For the tongue, I'm going to use Rhodonite Genuine. And this is just a little bit extra on the tongue. Another wash. Make it a little bit darker. Same with the eyes, a little bit darker. I did not record it, but I did do some highlights with some Golden So Flat white acrylic. You can use a gel pen. I just put put little highlights on his eyes. And here I'm going in with a Copic multi-liner, just for the outlines. Kind of bring the finishing touches to the painting. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you learned something while I learned something. And I hope to see you again next time. If you have any ideas of anything that you want to see me paint, please leave them below in the comment section, and I appreciate you. Bye-bye for now.